This perp back with another video when I just got done watching season 1 of The Hunters. Now, earlier I was going to do an episode by episode review. I kind of didn't like how it turned out, so I deleted that first episode review, and now I just decided to binge it, and I'm so fucking glad I just decided to binge this and enjoy this series, because there's a lot of twists and turns and deceptions and just overall dope ass shit going on in this series. And before I get into this review, hit this like button, hit that sub button if you're new, trying to get to 1K by 420. That would be awesome. Also follow me on Twitter at perpminded420. Now, going into this, this is starring Al Pacino and Logan Lerman, and it has Jordan Peele's name as the EP, so it's going to be a very well thought out type of series. I was hyped for this. The trailers just said it all. It's very self-explanatory. It's about a group of hunters hunting down Nazis. Why wouldn't you watch this? This series kind of reminds me of a cross between Kingsman and Inglourious Bastards. It's very violent. There's stakes, which I love. It's not your generic, the good guy always wins. No, there's a lot of shit that goes on in this series that I'm really glad that they did. They took a lot of risks. They did a lot of different things throughout this series with flashbacks, showing you what happened on the internment camps and whatnot. Give you a lot of backstory on what's going on with the overall premise of why they're hunting down these Nazis and whatnot. So Logan Lerman's character Jonah, it's starring him. He's really close with his grandmother. He has his best friends are called Booty and Cheeks. I know that's hilarious. Like, who wouldn't want to have best friends that are named Booty and Cheeks? Those two dudes are hilarious. He lives a very casual life. He starts off getting beat up, but he always gets back up. He's a fighter. He has something very tragic happen to his grandmother, which leads him to end up joining the hunters and joining the cause. At first he's kind of iffy about it, but the more he digs into his grandmother's past, he realizes that this is pretty much destined for him to for this to happen to him, and it's literally his birthright, as he would kind of call it. But there's just so many interesting characters throughout this series, and they do a lot of good building up and payoffs throughout this series. There's definitely some humor, mixed with a lot of dramatic, scenes. Like when I said they go to the internment camps, and you see that aspect of what's going on and how fucked up that whole situation was. But let's get into some of these characters and whatnot, and then I'll just give you my final thoughts at the end of this video, because man, what they did with this and with the finale was insane. I'm not going to spoil that. You definitely have to go check that out to see what I'm talking about. But let's start with Jonah. Jonah, like I said earlier on, he's a fighter. He definitely knows what he wants most of the time. He's very decisive, which kind of he struggles with what to do and what not to do in certain situations that he is facing, which I gotta give it to Logan Lerman. I think this is definitely the best I've ever seen him in any movie or any show he was a part of. But he definitely gave it his all. I can't wait to see what they do with his character in season 2. There's definitely a lot they can go with, him growing as a character, becoming this hunter and just being accepted. And at first he's really not, but eventually he becomes accepted. But let's get over to Al Pacino's character as Meyer. Now, he is the most interesting character, I will say, throughout this whole entire series. He's a man with a lot of skeletons in his closet. Not going to spoil anything about his character, but I definitely think people will walk away enjoying his performance as Meyer. Al Pacino has just been killing it overall. Like, he's played a Cuban, now a Jewish person, and he's also was killing it in The Irishman. Like, the man is a fucking beast when it comes to this acting shit. Like, that's no debating that. There's no discussion about that. But I can't wait to see just how season 2 plays out, because of the way his character has impacted the story. Now, going to the hunters themselves, they're like a bunch of ragtag group of people. That's Meyer, Mindy, and Murray and Mindy, Roxy, Harriet, and Lonnie Flash. Lonnie Flash is definitely like my favorite out of the 6. He's hilarious. He's the actor, and all these different characters bring something unique to the group and just to the overall story. They all have their different backgrounds, their different reasonings on becoming a hunter. I would say next two of my favorite characters from this group is Murray and Mindy. They're like that old married couple, but like, it's just what they do with each one of these characters is really unique and something that I think everybody will enjoy watching through this whole entire series. Can't wait to see what they go do with them at the second season. Are we going to get some new hunters? Who knows? Then we get a really interesting wild card, which is Millie. She's like a detective, a special agent, and she comes across this whole Nazi thing, and she's trying to crack down on it. And I think she's going to play a huge part going into season 2, but that's all I will say about her character. Now, let's shift things over to the villains of this story. One being Travis. He's definitely my favorite villain so far throughout this whole entire series. He's just like Jonah. He comes from this somewhat privileged the only difference between him and Jonah is he comes from a privileged background, and he just does this shit for fun, and he wants to come up in the ranks. And it's going to be interesting to see those two's rivalry going forward. That's all I'll say with that. Next, we have Jiff. He's another dude that you see in the beginning of the series. He's kind of like your wacky mustache twirling type of villain, but he's a weasel. He knows how to get away, but we'll just have to wait to season 2. But overall, I've really enjoyed this whole entire series. There's a lot of surprises, a lot of stakes, a lot of different moving parts, and they do a really good job of setting up this universe, this world. The cinematography is nothing really too special until like the later episodes. The backstories and the flashbacks are really cool, and I think this is a series that everybody could enjoy and have fun with. But if you've seen this series, what you think in the comments below, let me know. But until my next video, I will see y'all later. Peace.
Trying to figure your way through all of this mess, and the only thing that you can do is just put one foot in front of the other and just continue to move forward. And there's nothing else you can do. And there's times where it just seems like days are just endless. This is never going to end. This feeling, this dark time is just never going to be over. And I think once you go through something like that, you can't help but be different. You can't help but have a better sense of